Welcome into Bleacher Talk, presented by Via Luna. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. And
I know, we're still getting used to it.
It's really weird not saying Claudia Faust. I'm going to be honest. We need like a swear jar where if we call you Claudia Faust or
I
Mr.
like
Collins,
it. As long as I get the earnings for it,
Yeah.
I think that's the only way that's fair. But we're out at Soho 63 today celebrating the upcoming battle for Arizona Avenue. I know these two right here are really excited about this upcoming week. We've got Nico Marchial over here joining us, and we're ready to chat all things Hamilton versus Chandler, which, you know, for Jordan and I, this is a first that we'll get to see it. But you guys have been working towards this for quite a while now, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. I think it speaks for itself. You know, the rivalry dates back, since however long, and it's just cool to kind of carry on that tradition every year. And it's always no matter the skill level of the teams, each team always has really good players, and it's always really good competition and so much fun. So just really excited for this showdown.
Yeah. And both of you, but you too, Christian. Claudia was poking a little bit of fun at you before we went live here with your ties. They look good. The moms
Very
helped
good.
you out there.
Mom's always got to help.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
There you go. Special shout out to Mom. On the field real quick, too, we'll start with you, Christian. I mean, what's it been like this year just going on this run? You guys, you beat Bishop Gorman, and now you're here at the end of the regular season with the game that's probably been marked on your calendar for over a year now.
It's a crazy season. We've been training for this ever since last year's state. Once we lost that, we always have this revenge we're feeling, and it's just great. Everything being put together this season, all of our wins, and I'm very excited for this final game.
Spurge brought up the Bishop Gorman game, which is one that people are still talking about and will probably talk about for quite some time to come. How much confidence does that game give you now that you get to look back at that and be like, we beat that team, which, by the way, is 10-1. So your Bishop Gorman's only loss this season. What kind of confidence does that give you?
After those kind of wins, it's hard to keep a level head and keep just going 1 week at a time. But I think our team does really well with that, and I think we don't really overlook any opponents and kind of treat every week the same. So it definitely boosts our confidence a little bit and gives us a little more motivation and stuff during practice. But we're still treating every week the same and just happy to play in big games like this all the time. So
you guys are treating every week the same, and either of you can answer this honestly, but is there sort of a motto or a message this year that's just unique to this team that you guys have really lived by so far? I see the smirk there.
No, who's got this one?
Oh, say it, you got it.
I feel like it's like more of a revenge we feel from last year's state. It's just we'll never forget that, and then coming for something bigger this year.
I know it's only Monday, but what's the attitude, or it's Tuesday?
It is Tuesday. Oof, this week's already flying by.
Whoops,
Wow.
It's Tuesday. But you've been thinking about this probably since Friday night now. I know you go one game at a time, but what's the attitude been since Friday night, knowing that you've got the battle for Arizona Avenue this upcoming week?
It's just, you can totally tell a change. It's just totally locked in. Ever since, the fourth quarter ended of Higley, we've been totally locked in on Chandler. And I think we do a really well job preparing on the weekends and getting everybody there and putting in a really detailed game plan that'll help us win. So, if we just keep preparing like this and keep a level head and not keep the moment too big or make the moment too big, then we'll be fine.
So I've been to a few of your guys' games this year, and before the game and after the game, I see you guys having fun. You're locked in, but you're having fun. Who on the team do we need to know about is like the biggest hype man or the guy that has the best dancing skills on the team? What do you think?
Gosh, I think either Grant or Grant or Joel.
Grant or Joel, yeah.
Joel gets me pretty hyped.
How so? Anything he says specifically, or
So,
go-to dance moves?
Definitely. So him being a corner, he'll always we're always chirping in practice and stuff, and he's trying to get in the quarterback's head and the receiver's head and stuff. But in the game, how he keeps us locked in is he'll, just like pretty much yell at us or get us to get the offense to get excited or to pick up our speed or whatever, and it always snaps us right back in focus. So it's good to have those guys like that on the team.
What's that like for you?
It's interesting with Joel. Very interesting in practice. Always something saying, and especially in game, is really helpful though. Once they turn over or something, he always the first one dab us up and ever got it. So it's a great feeling though. I always have someone there for you.
When you look at Chandler, you guys have probably been watching some film. What do you feel like is their biggest threat this season against you guys?
I think they have a really strong offense and defense. I think they just have a lot of key players that really make their team strong. And I think if we can kind of keep those key players contained and not really let them do much, then we'll be successful. And I think they have a really, really strong defense. Some players that we really got to watch out for. But I think with the scheme and the players we have, we can really get after it. So I'm excited for this week.
So I want to push the edge a little bit here. Where do you guys feel like you can expose them then? We just talked about some of their strengths, but where do you feel like you can expose them without giving away too much, obviously?
I think some of our strong suits these last couple of weeks have been throwing the ball and extending the ball downfield. So I think we're definitely going to be taking some shots downfield and testing their
defense apart.
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Especially you two, right? Especially you two with your connection.
All night. Yes, sir.
Are you guys like inseparable off the field too? Are you guys just like always together?
Yeah,
Pretty
even
much.
last night. Till like 11
last night we were
o'clock,
watching film at my house and just going out to eat and stuff. It's my guy.
So what are you guys going to do to keep the friendship, the bromance alive, going into college next year?
I think, he'll be balling out wherever he's at, and I'll be in West Virginia. So I think we'll always come back here and throw it together, whatever, and come to Hamilton games and stuff. So just staying in contact and keeping this friendship.
I think he just said you'll always find your way back home without saying you'll always find your way back home.
You guys need those necklaces?
Matching necklaces.
Well, I know you had one more thing you wanted to ask Nico. You wanted to have him do something real quick,
So,
right? Before we move on to the next
like
group.
I told you beforehand, my father-in-law was a safety for West Virginia, and every one of my in-laws went to West Virginia. And I hope you know this by now. But at the end of every game, win or lose, do you know what the tradition is?
Sing Country Roads.
All right, can we get a verse?
Of course. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Oh, Nico's getting into it now.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Get a round of applause for
You
Nico
are
Marchiol.
officially a Mountaineer, and I can tell you everyone will be very proud that you've already got the chorus down. Awesome. Well, thanks you two for joining us. Best of luck this upcoming week. We hope you're eating lots of food, staying full, staying hungry for the game, and yeah, best of luck.
Thank you guys so much.
Best
Thanks
of
for
luck.
joining
Good
us.
stuff. Yeah, we'll be right back on Bleacher Talk presented by Via Luna. The Battle for Arizona Avenue this week. We're coming at you live from Soho 63. We'll be back in a few minutes. One.
Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins with Jordan Spurgeon here. We've got two more guests with us now. We've got Dawson Hubbard over here. And
We've
to our
got
right.
Deuce over here.
Oh, and we've got
and
the
we've got
trophy
the trophy
and
with
Brad
Brad
Sesmat right
Sesmat
here.
over here
Please don't.
in there. It's okay if it blocks us a little bit.
Yeah,
I think the
we're good with
trophy's a little
that.
better looking than us anyways. That's totally fine.
I'm
with
having
me.
a bad hair day anyways. We'll stay
Yeah,
behind
we'll
here.
hide behind it while we ask. But for you guys, this season, you guys have played it really well, which is pretty much the normal here at Hamilton. You guys beat Bishop Gorman. Now you're here for a revenge game. What are you looking forward to the Battle for Arizona Avenue this week?
Just winning back what's ours, getting that win that we felt like we should have gotten in the championship game and just getting that trophy back finally after like 9 years.
All right, the trophy is within touching distance. How are we feeling? Do you feel like it's yours this Friday?
I feel like everything's starting to come together. It's time for us to show that we deserve to have this trophy back at Hamilton.
What has the attitude been like in the locker room, just over the last few days, or even how much time did you go from celebrating your last win to being like, all right, well, this is the week we've been waiting for?
I think it was basically right after the Higley game, we all started to understand that we have a big game coming up, and everyone was focused for the last couple of days, watching film, just getting prepared for the game ahead, because this is our main focus, at this, and then heading straight to playoffs.
So obviously, we had other guys up here earlier, and they were saying revenge is the motto this year. But how have you guys been having fun as well out there? Like, who on the team really gets you going when maybe you guys are feeling down? You guys need to have a little bit of fun and relax a little bit.
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably him, honestly.
Oh.
He's the most optimistic person in the game. Like, in Bishop Gorman, he wasn't playing, but even still, just having him there, it's like he just gave us hope and we just kept playing.
We do this thing where we put people on the spot. So the fact that he just called you out means I need to hear what like a pep talk sounds like. You guys are down by 3. What's the chat right here?
I mean, because we're always right next to each other. He plays always on my right side, so I just say, come on, 6, we need a big one, and he goes out and does what he does. We just play ball.
All right.
So just
I'm
play
feeling
ball, okay?
inspired.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit hyped up this year. speaking back on revenge too. So last week I was actually at Bastion and caught up with 2 of your former teammates, and they were just saying how much it hurt to lose a championship this year and how it's really shaped them and driven them this year. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. What was that like for you last year, and how have you learned from that moving forward?
I mean, it hurt, and like after the game, I cried and everything because it just hurt coming that close and not winning. And I just used how I felt after that game to like help motivate me and drive me forward this year.
And if you were to see them come playoff time, I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with the battle for Arizona. What would it be like going off against Deshaun and Cole Martin out there at Basha?
They're still my friends. It's just like another football game. I'm still cool with them. I still like them. It's just my friends. So, just another football game.
So there's no question you've been watching some film. So what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge taking on Chandler's offense?
I mean, they're a really great team all around. They have key pieces. I mean, they just got their wide receiver back, Keon, and everyone on their team is very dynamic and can get the ball and play fast and play hard. So it's just taking everyone serious, taking it day by day, and just breaking it as much down as possible.
Do you have anything else to add on to that as well, as far as kind of what you're expecting in this game?
I'm expecting the same competition I got with Bishop Gorman, but probably more, really.
There's a lot more emotion in this game, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more emotion in this game, definitely.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you both joining us. Best of luck this upcoming Friday. Keep the nerves at a minimum. Just enjoy today. Enjoy, some lunch over there. We can smell it from here, so
it smells real
it's getting
good.
close to lunchtime. But best of luck to you.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. We'll be right back on Bleacher Talk here. The battle for Arizona, as we're hiding behind the trophy here. Keep listening. Keep watching to Bleacher Talk. Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. We're coming at you live from Soho 63, the battle for Arizona Avenue. We've got the trophy here coming up on Friday, Hamilton and Chandler. I'm alongside Claudia Collins. This is Bleacher Talk presented by Valle Luna. And this is a lot of fun so far. There's food right next to us, just teasing us. I'm getting hungry. What about you, Claudia?
We're getting close to that time, though. So, we'll get through this. Then you guys will get some food. And then no more class today, right? You guys are out of class for the rest of the day. How's that feel?
It feels nice, not having to go to school, just to relax and focus a little more on football. It's nice.
All right, well, we've got Michael Masudas here.
We've got Grayson Stovall as well, here with the brown suit as well. Yep. I've been asking everyone, so the tie looks good. Not looks good. Is that you guys, or is that Mom? That's you.
Yes, sir. I did it myself this morning.
Nice,
so
good work.
These two are more independent than everybody else. That Mom helped out a little bit. I respect it.
Nothing
took me a long time
wrong with that.
learn.
Nothing wrong with a little help from Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys must be really excited and maybe some nerves with this upcoming Friday. A little nervous, or is it all excitement?
It's a bit of excitement, a little nerves. We've played them twice before last year. We know how they are. We've been watching film on them. We've been studying them well, and we're making a good game plan. And we're ready to prepare for this game.
For you, is this game? I keep hearing the word revenge. So is the game against Chandler here for the battle for Arizona Avenue or in a championship game? Is that basically the definition of revenge for you at this point?
Yes, sir. I mean, looking back on last year, and we all know what happened. This whole season has been based on getting back to state and taking our revenge on Chandler. And this is the biggest game of the year. This is what we look forward to every year, the last game of the season. And I think Chandler will see what we've been working on the past off season and this year.
Grayson, you say this is the biggest game of the year. I think you meant regular season, because I think you see yourself going pretty far. Is that right? What do you feel like is the outcome for you guys this year?
I think we're winning it all this year. We've been putting in the work in the off season. We've been playing great. Our chemistry is amazing. We've been building as a team, and I think we're just gonna go out and dominate and show Arizona who the best team in the state is.
So a lot of people, I know you guys are moving forward and you're ready for this week, are still talking about the Bishop Gorman game. What was that like from your perspective, being able to win that game? And they went 10-1 this year. You guys were the only team to beat one of the top teams in the nation this year.
Yes, sir. I mean, obviously, extremely well opponent, and they played an amazing game. But I think it came down to those last, obviously, a minute and a half in the game. And I think looking back on that, that's something you'll never be able to take away from us. Making history, and obviously we went viral, so it was kind of fun from that. But one of those games just fits perfectly with this season, and obviously how we're aiming for the season to end, just with 2 top 15 victories in regular season, and then finish the season with winning state.
I got to touch on the word viral real quick. What's the best part of going viral? Either of you can answer, but what was the coolest part about going viral after that game?
I think opening up your phone like seconds after the game, and anything you open up, you saw your team and yourself on national news and like ESPN and those sorts of things. I think that's extremely fun to look at and see.
The national rankings just came out. Hamilton's number 11 as of, I believe, Sunday. Maybe it was early Monday morning.
I believe so, yeah.
Today's not Monday. It's Tuesday. I made that mistake earlier. But do you feel like that ranking is really representative of what your team has done so far this season?
I think it's great to see that we're finally getting the recognition we've been working so hard for, and I think it's just a testament to what we've been putting in this season, and I think we can just keep building on it and keep focusing.
You're ready to take down number 6, right? That's what's happening?
Yes, ma'am.
So throughout the season, it's a long season, but during the dog days, whether it was training camp or back in the season, who was a guy or who were some of the guys on the team that really just kept you guys pushing forward, whether it's by having fun or maybe the guy that just yells at you all the time on the team? Who was it?
Yes, sir. All of our coaches do a really good job of pushing us, kind of, keeping us toward that goal of what we're aiming to at the end of the season. But, the whole team is really just a complete family. And I think that's what it takes to win those big games and, eventually get to state. Having that close-knit brotherhood is like we like to say, and, just everyone pushing each other toward being a better person and a better player.
Absolutely.
Is there a song or anything that y'all just blast in the locker room to get hyped before a game? I feel like there is. Your face just lit up a bit.
Well, our coach, he likes to keep it dark, and we kind of just all have our headphones in, and we're focusing, preparing for the game, and we all just focus on ourselves, and we come together as a team, and we just break down, and we go out and dominate.
So is there a song of your own choice that are in your headphones?
It changes on the weekly basis, depending on what my mood is and how I want to play.
Any predictions for what the song will be this week?
Maybe something more EDM style, upbeat, getting me going.
All right.
No country roads? You guys
Over
have
there.
you guys on that yet? Well, awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. It's a busy week for you. Make sure you eat up today and enjoy this event here at Soho 63. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we will be right back here on Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. The battle for Arizona Avenue. This beautiful trophy is up for grabs this week. Hamilton versus Chandler. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins with Jordan Spurgeon and a special guest. Who do we have here, Jordan?
Coach Zadebski from Hamilton High School. We're here for the battle for Arizona Avenue this week. We're at Soho 63. Great time today. What does it mean to you just to first off be here and, prepare in a different way for the game this week?
It's a great event for all the coaches and players, and everybody gets a chance to get dressed up a little bit and enjoy the day.
So we've talked to 6 of your players now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear a little bit, it's a long question, but a little bit on each of them. Maybe if you had to say a sentence about each guy we've had a chance to chat with.
In terms of football, who they are?
Who they are.
Who they are. Yeah, let's get off the field a little bit.
Nico is a great leader, extremely vocal, takes charge of things. He's going to be all these guys are going to be very successful as, post-high school, post-college graduates. Christian, very talented young man that his upside is incredible. And, wherever he goes to school, somebody's going to get a steal right there. Dawson Hubbard is a very physical young man. Again, great leader, very vocal, takes charge of things, and is very responsible. Michael Masunis, again, like a lot of these guys, works relentlessly year-round, super attitude, and as they all are, outstanding students as well. Grayson Stovall, again, very vocal as a leader, big dude, great feet, extremely athletic for his size, and, very team-oriented right there. And then, you got Deuce Davis as a kid that is really developed as much, if not more, than any player that I've probably ever coached or seen.
So, Coach, okay, you know them all well. Now, the one thing they all reiterated to us, revenge. That's been part of the driving factor for them this year. How have you sort of cultivated that or managed that expectation this year? Because obviously they all want revenge against Chandler this week.
To me, we just need to look at it as week 10. Not put too much into it in regards besides it's our 10th game. And then 2 weeks from there, we'll prepare for our 11th game. To avoid those emotional roller coasters of up and down. Because, you can have all the pregame hype and all this great stuff right here, but it's still going to be a 48-minute game where you got to play with self-discipline and composure.
You guys have obviously been looking at film for at least a few days now. What do you feel like?
Last December.
All right, there we go. Since last December. So what do you think is different about this year's Chandler team, and what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge?
Well, I don't think there's much different. The fact is they're 9-0, and they're playing exceptional defense, and they continue to win.
What are your team's strengths against Chandler, do you think, coming into this week? Or really any week?
I don't know. I think any team has their strengths and weaknesses, and the things that we want to focus on are self-discipline, our pre and post snap execution, and really the discipline in that category right there, and just focus on what we can control.
We've asked every one of these guys to kind of name a hype man on the team. When you look out at the field, who do you feel like is maybe the top 1 or 2 hype men that you would be like, I need him to give a pep talk now?
Well, I think Nico does a great job when he takes charge of things. I hand it off to him as soon as we're done with flex, and he's the guy that really talks to the team real quick right there.
So when you guys are in sort of the dog days, and they mentioned earlier you guys do a good job really keeping them focused, who else on the team do you think really kept them focused as a leader this year, especially when things were looking different?
I think the reason we're such a good team is that we have a number of players that are doing it. All these individuals right here are a great part of keeping us as focused, and there's a number of other players as well. So it's not just the coaches, it's the team ownership that has brought us to this point.
So off the field right now, we chatted with all of them about their suit and ties. About half of them tied their own ties. About half of them had a little help from mom.
Right.
What's it like seeing your guys go from, locker room attire to, dressed nice and fancy for this?
And this is a big event, and it justifies them looking the way they do. Very professional and taking great honor in participating in this event. And that's why we want the kids to look good, and it's a great representation of our high school.
If you had to wear one of their suit and ties, who would you pick?
I like Deuce's tie.
All right.
That's the tie.
Deuce's
I want
tie.
right there. Yep.
I think I have one very similar to that too, actually. It is a really nice tie.
I did
Me
too.
too.
I didn't want to go too crazy with the crazy, so I'm a little more conservative for this.
Awesome, Coach. Well, thank you so much for your time and joining us, and good luck this week.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Best of luck this week. Thanks for joining us on Bleacher Talk. We'll be back with more interviews coming up after the break.
We're having a lot of fun out here. Welcome into Bleacher Talk, coming at you live from Soho 63. The battle for Arizona Avenue is this week. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and we've got Coach Rick Garrettson from Chandler High School here joining us. You were the first guest on this show, Bleacher Talk, and it's grown a lot since then, and we're really happy to have you here, Coach. So how are you feeling so far this week as you prepare for a big game?
It's early in the week. Go about our business as usual and have our 2 workday practices coming up today and tomorrow. So keeping things, same as we always do, and looking forward to Friday night.
You say you're going about your business as usual, but I feel like this isn't usual business, cutting out on a Tuesday, midday, getting fed, all of that. What's this experience like for you as a coach and for your players?
It throws off the rhythm a little bit, The players is great because the kids that are here with us is the first time they've been here because I bring seniors. And, it's not our first rodeo with all this stuff. So but this has grown over the years though. And it's pretty cool how it's developed. And, having 2 schools in the national rankings at 4 miles apart is pretty special.
So this season for you guys, you're undefeated. There's a lot of chatter off the field, but what have you guys really been dialed in on this year as far as just keeping everything running smoothly as it has the last few years?
We just go day by day and work, every practice, every rep. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but it's true. And, we go about our business and, get ready to prepare for, have some fun on a Friday night.
I feel like winning just breeds cliche, so I think that's totally okay. I feel like when you win a lot, it's just, you got to have those cliches in your head, right?
There's a lot of work that goes into that, and I'm very proud of our kids and our program, my staff, of how they go about their business every day. And, and our schedule this year has, as I said, has been no layup games. So you got to come to play every night or else you're going to have some problems or get beat.
We've already talked with all of the Hamilton players that are here today, and Coach C. We asked Coach C to say a little bit about each player off the field. If we could, we haven't talked with your guys yet, but maybe just a quick sentence about who each of these guys are off the field, and maybe we can, spread the word a little bit.
Okay. So you're going to talk about, you want me to talk about my players?
Yeah, I want to hear a little, who they are off of the field.
I've got Keon Grace here today, special kid, humble kid, great teammate, going to Ohio State. I've got Coron Adams going to Iowa State, who's very special player and special skill set. I've got Nason Coleman, who came off ACL surgery, that's made us a different offense since he's come back after the first 2 weeks. Then on the defensive side of the ball, I've got Frankie Morales, who is I'll call him the honey badger of Arizona high school football. And then Devin Dunn, who is a scholar athlete that's committed to Air Force Academy. And then Isaiah Johnson, an Arizona commit, defensive lineman. Those are my kids that I have today.
So I was there with my teammate Jordan Ham during the scrimmage when Keon got hurt. Are you surprised that he's back on the field now? Does that surprise you at all?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. There would be a lot of guys that wouldn't be back out there. He plays with the brace, and he's had a couple games under his belt, and getting back in a form of condition. And, it's not easy. We call him Gronk, because Gronkowski wears that arm brace. So not too many guys be coming back and doing what he's doing in this season.
What do you think that says about not only his resilience, but the example that he's setting for kids behind him?
Well, he's just one of those guys that is always trying to make himself better and improve, not only in the classroom, but obviously outside of the classroom. And it's a testament to, hard work pays off, getting the opportunities he's going to have, coming next year. And, we're blessed to have him out there with us.
I was at your game against Cherry Creek, and I've got to tell you, Coron Adams was the kid that stuck out to me. Just so speedy. How much of an advantage do you think it was for him and to your team that he's a two-sport athlete and track star?
Well, anytime you have low 10 in the hundreds, you're special in that sense. But Coron has really developed into a quality receiver. Routes, even blocking, doing the things that it takes, to go ahead and be a special type of player. And I was very proud of him. When Keon was down and Nason was down, he was the one that took the lead there because we only had one returning starter on the offense out there in those first couple of games. So it's been good leadership skills with that, and has really he leads us from receiving as far as catches, and he's dynamic. You got to know where he's at all times.
Coach, I've got one more really important question for you. We've asked Hamilton players like who their rah-rah guys. Who are the rah-rah guys in your team that really get the team hyped, especially when maybe you guys are down in a game or you're in sort of a rut? Who are the guys that seem to get the team lifted up?
This is a team that I'm not going to say we don't have that type of guy, but they're just guys that go about their business. They're not cheerleaders. They know what it takes. They've been there before. They know how to win. We have kids like that just bear down and make things happen in crunch times and make the plays that you have in order to win a ball game.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Coach. Enjoy this event. Get some food for sure if you're getting hungry. I know I'm getting pretty hungry as well. And we'll be back on Bleacher Talk here in just a couple minutes. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins with Jordan Spurgeon and Coron Adams and Keon Graves over here. We're really excited to have both of you guys on to chat about this right here, the battle for Arizona Avenue. You guys are, defending champs. This is you've been around the block with this a few times, but does it feel different this year at all?
I'd have to say it feels a little different. Definitely used to being here, being in this environment, but it's senior year, so everything's a little different, a little emotional.
And Keon, for you, we'll jump right into it. So we just talked with Coach Garrettson, and he said, honestly, he's very surprised you were able to come back and play, especially after the injury you had this year. Were you always expecting to get back on the field and be a Wolf one more time?
Oh, that was the main goal. To be at the end of the day, I wanted to come back on the field and play one more time with my guys. I mean, I got back out there. I went to PT every other day trying to get back. I wanted to be there for my guys, and that was the main thing. So, I'm happy I get to be back out there. I'm still getting my feet back on the ground. So, it's just a blessing to be able to come back out with my brothers and play one more time.
And I'll add this too. So having that opportunity to then step away from the team and see them play, and you're really working hard to get back. What'd you learn from that experience and being able to kind of figure things out from a different perspective maybe?
Really, I just learned. It made me take the game a little bit more. It made me be more blessed to play, because knowing that you're hurt, you see how fast the game it can get taken from you within a play or two. So you're one play away from being gone. So it made me made me appreciate it a lot more than what it really was.
I was at y'all's game against Cherry Creek, and I told your coach that you actually really stood out to me that day. It was my first time ever seeing Chandler play, and you're a speedy guy. I asked him the same question, but what advantage do you think it gives you that you're a two-sport athlete and run track as well?
Well, you know what they say, speed kills, and I feel like when you just put that explosiveness on the football field, it creates mismatches between you and your defender and your opponent, and it can definitely be definitely beneficial.
Do you two go back and forth in practice on like who can make? I don't know if you're gonna go for the flashy plays, but who's gonna put up like better numbers in practice?
Really, we just compete. I mean, it's a brotherhood. I'm happy when he does good. He's happy when I do good. So regardless of what happens, I mean, he can have 100 yards a game. I can have 5, and I still celebrate like I had 100. So I mean, regardless, we're all happy for each other's successes. It's not really about like who does better here, who does better here. It's more like, okay, we're all happy no matter what happens. So I mean.
So for both of you, I'm going to keep it real here. We talked to all of the guys over at Hamilton, and not one of them didn't use the word revenge. They're pretty hungry for it. What does that make you feel?
As they should. They should definitely be looking for revenge, but it only motivates us more to, continue the streak and get it done.
Yeah, Coach mentioned, sometimes it can be an emotional roller coaster when you get to games like this, but he likes to keep you guys pretty even keel. So what's something you do or something this team does to really stay even keel and just take it week by week and not focus on this giant trophy right now?
Really, we focus on ourselves. We worry about what we're going to do for this week. I mean, we don't look ahead. We just think about what's happening now, what we're going to do now, and how we're going to prepare for it.
You guys are ranked number 6 in the country at the moment. What kind of confidence does that give you, or do you not really look at that?
Try not to stay too much into it, but that definitely says a lot about us, about our players, about our program, about our staff, and it definitely motivates us to just do right by them and just continue the streak, keep everything going.
So I only made it out to one game so far, and I came for the second half, but every game I'm always looking for different guys that are really good dancers on the team. Who's the best dancers on this team? I know you guys might not dance a lot, but who are the best dancers?
Either one of you could answer.
Yeah. That's a hard one.
Best dancer.
Who would you say, Q? Who would you say?
Can you repeat the question?
Best
the best
dancer
on the team.
Best? That's a hard one. Who would that
I don't think we have that many dancers on the team.
KJ?
I might have to say KJ Cooper.
KJ Cooper.
Why
KJ? Why KJ?
I don't know. He's just goofy. He be doing different stuff all the time.
Brings that energy to the team room all the time.
Yeah, like he said, all the time. Just more energy, gets us up. I mean, can't ask for nothing else.
Well, there's no question you guys have been watching film on Hamilton. So what do you think is their biggest threat against y'all?
Their biggest threat, I definitely have to say their defensive line is very aggressive. And as long as our O-line dominates the line of scrimmage, it should be very good in our part.
How do you feel like you guys might overcome that? You mentioned the defensive line being a strong point for Hamilton this year. How do you guys think you'll overcome that on Friday?
I mean, just worry about ourselves, like we say. I mean, do what we do. It's nothing new. We've been doing this for a while now. So, I mean, just, like I said, do what we do and continue to play.
And I got one more question for you too, Keon. So, obviously, you want to win this game first, and you eventually want to get back to the championship game and win. What would that mean to you prior to your time at Ohio State where you're getting ready to leave next year?
Oh, it would mean a lot. I mean, to finish off what Ben started, I mean, I'm undefeated at Chandler. I haven't lost since freshman year. Me and Q, most of the 22 class, we haven't lost since freshman year. And so, I mean, being able to finish that, get one more from my brothers, that would just be the icing on the cake.
I have to do this for you because I had Nico Marchiol sing Country Roads, which is a West Virginia tradition, but I grew up in Ohio, and we do something in Ohio that's kind of similar tradition. See if you catch on. OH. There we go. He's got it down. I just had to make sure. You can do that. Once you go to Ohio State, you can do that to anybody walking on the street with a hat or something. They don't even have to go to Ohio State. It could be an OU hat. It doesn't matter.
It took me a minute to catch on. At first, people would be like, "Oh wait," so I look at them like,
yes.
They look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, oh.
It's a thing. I never went to Ohio State. I'm not like huge on Ohio State, but if you're from Ohio, it's OHIO. You got to get used to that. So, love having both of you guys on. Thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck to both of you this week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good week. Get some food. We're gonna get some food here soon. All right, we're coming back. We got one more break on Bleacher Talk. We're coming back. We're gonna have our quick pick segment for the week. We got 2 other games, and of course, we got to be the enemy of somebody here as we pick Chandler at Hamilton with everyone around us. That's coming up next here on Bleacher Talk.
Pressure.
Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins with Jordan Spurgeon.
Got
and
the
I
big man,
think,
Brad Sesmat, talking back there. You might hear him a little bit,
and
maybe.
find him in the purple suit. Really, really hard to miss.
Oh,
But
6'8" guy in purple suit. I don't
yeah,
know about that. That's
yeah.
hard to see,
It's
hard
like,
to miss.
where's Waldo? It's crazy. But I think the event is just about to get started, so we're going to make our quick picks nice and quick. So we're going to get right into it. There's two really big rivalries this week. We obviously know what one of them is, but the other one is the Ahwatukee Bowl. So we've got Mountain Point versus Desert Vista. Bruce Cooper is not with us today, which is sad, but we love
He's
having...
out doing great things, emceeing another event over
Yes.
in Mesa. So we got his picks, though. Don't worry about it.
All right, Jordan. I have no idea what he picked, so what do you have for me?
Yeah, Bruce is in first place, by the way, so he's playing with house
true.
money. He's got a 1-game lead over me, and I think
Yeah, we're not talking about
We're not going to talk about Claudia's decline over the last couple of weeks, but Bruce is rocking with Mountain Point in this one over at Desert Vista, and I have to agree with Coop. I like what I've seen from them this year. I just think right now they're playing better football, and I do think they're going to win. We're going to put it in the score 31-24. It's a rivalry game. It'll be close, but I think Mountain Point's going to win.
I don't think you're wrong that it's going to be close, but I think you're wrong that it's going to be Mountain Point. I'm going with Desert Vista on this one. They have the same record. Desert Vista is currently led by head coach Ty Wisdom, who obviously did great things in his past, but what he's doing at Desert Vista and what he's done lately, I'm going to have to disagree. Their schedule has been tougher this season. They've recently played Hamilton, Basha, and Highland. Yes, they lost them all, but I think having those games, having played them so recently, is going to give them the upper hand, having faced really big talent like that. Agree it's going to be close, low scoring-ish. I'm going to go 21-19.
Okay, remember, you're digging out of a hole right now. I have to remind you, so you have to disagree with us.
But there's only one way out. Yes, but this isn't why I'm doing that. Desert Vista was my choice to begin with. You can look at my papers.
We love it. We love it.
All right, the next matchup we've got. Who do we got here?
Got River Valley and Valley Christian.
All right, and what was Bruce's choice there?
So Bruce is rocking with River Valley in this one. They have one of the state's leading rushers, or the leading rusher, Zach Hammer. I know our teammate Evan Oshowitz will be out there covering him and doing a story on him this Friday. Stay tuned for that. So that's who Bruce is rocking with. What about you?
I wanted to go last.
You're going
All
second
right,
this time.
all
We're not
right.
playing that game.
Since he chose River Valley, I'm digging myself out of a hole. In this case, I am going to choose Valley Christian because I need a way to win. And like I said, I was going to choose Desert Vista no matter what. That was my choice, but I think we're going to go Valley Christian just to kind of start climbing my way back up.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Valley Christian playing really good football this year. The program is at a new level this year. I think they're one of the better programs, and they're ready for a deep playoff run. And so I think they're going to beat River Valley, and I think it's, Hammer's going to have his time on the ground, but I think Valley Christian will win somewhere 31-17.
All right, you know what that means. Last matchup we're talking about is this one right here. This year, Chandler is playing at Hamilton, and it's the battle for Arizona Avenue. Spurge, who do you have in this one?
Yeah,
or
this
do you want
one,
me to go first, or you think I'm going to?
No, I've been
All
going back and forth on this game. I think this is the closest these two teams have been together in a long time. Obviously, last year, it left a bad taste in Hamilton's mouth, losing in the title game. They played them close in the regular season as well. And we spoke with every player and Coach Zadebski, and they're out for revenge. That was the key word, revenge. And sometimes that emotional roller coaster can get overwhelming for some teams. They just seem locked in. I think this game is going to be really close. I think Chandler's winning streak comes to an end. I think Hamilton's going to win this one. It's going to be 28-27. It's going to come down to a late touchdown.
All right, and what was Bruce's choice here?
Bruce agreed with Hamilton, so Bruce picking Hamilton as well.
All right.
Number 6 versus number 11 in the nation.
And the decision is unanimous. I am also choosing Hamilton in this case. I think that the guys talking about revenge solidified that for me. I came into this thinking this is the year for Hamilton. I think it's been not only a long time coming, but I think that they've got a really solid team working behind Nico Markiel. I think he really is the X factor in this game, and it obviously does not all come down to the QB, but I just think that based on what they've done this year, what we've seen them do, and their taste for revenge is what make that's not how that sentence works. That's what's going to make them come out on top. And if we're predicting that far, I think they could win the whole thing. I know you're going Chandler, at the end of it all, that they're going to win the Open, but I think if Hamilton defeats Chandler now, they'll do it again.
It's going to be a great game. The best teams in the States, the two top seeds, in Arizona. We had a great time out here. The battle for Arizona. The trophy is up for grabs this Friday. We're having fun here on Bleacher Talk. Claudia's holding the trophy up.
It's really heavy.
Special
it's meant for football players.
meant for football players for sure. This was coming at you live from Soho 63. A lot of fun today. Thank you to the Chandler Rotary Club as well for putting together this event. There's so many people here, as you can see and hear. There's a lot of good food. I want some food. Claudia has to go see her number one enemy, the dentist. After this, I had to remind you, I'm sorry.
Yes.
She's off to that next. I'm off to get some food. And
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning into Bleacher Talk. This was a lot of fun. Jared Nielsen, the Iron Man, thank you for running the stream,
Yes.
crushing it as always. It does not work without Jared, so thank you for your time. And we will see you again Friday night. Chandler and Hamilton, the battle
Yes, we
for
will.
Arizona Avenue. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.